Did I ever show you the coin that I got from Homeland Security?
No.
Oh,
Oh, nice.
pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Yeah, that's the Punisher's coin.
Yeah, Homeland Security, man.
Nice.
Let's see. Oh, we are live. YouTube, delete the last 30 seconds. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna give you update. Oh, where can't you see my brother from another mother? Here we go. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna give you an update right now about what is happening in Syria. Myself here and Khalifa from Israel. For those of you who don't know Khalifa, you should know by now. He is not related to the famous female Khalifa that you might be thinking about. It's a whole different ballgame here. He's another Druze from Israel who is a political analytic, and he is a real life shepherd. By the way, go follow him. He have a crazy YouTube channel. He's very active on Telegram. A lot of the resource that I'm getting for the information that I'm getting is through his Telegram channel, which is hosting from the top politicians to influencers to advocates to political analytics and people that came from the world of security and army. They're all there. They all know him, and they keep discussing and talking what's happening in the Middle East. And we're going to be giving you right now a little bit of an update about what's happening in Syria, because all eyes right now on Iran. But have you noticed that whenever all the world, I love your cat, man.
Yeah,
When maybe
it's
turn around and just pet the cat so you look like an evil kind of.
this is what I had to say. Like, I'm controlling the world with my cat.
Exactly.
Hmm.
So back to my point is whenever something big happens around the world and people's eyes turn to it, the Syrian regime systematically seemed to be taking advantage of that and promoting its agenda to ethnically cleanse Syria from anyone that is not Muslim or Sunna. But today we have something that is very interesting, because today it's actually Muslims and Sunnas killing Muslims and Sunnas. The Kurds, majority of them are actually Sunnas, they're Muslims. So why are the Syrians now doing the same thing that they did to the Druze, to the Alawites, to the Christians, the same horrific images? We're going to show you some of the images here. I mean, they're crazy, guys. I mean, they're wild. I took time to blur them out. Khalifa sent me some images. I told him, hell no, man, we can't show it here.
This is why we use Telegram, because you don't some things you can't just put on YouTube, and it's a lot of disturbing stuff here.
Yeah, he actually sent me an image where it took me a few seconds to understand what's in it. I put the image here, but I blurred all of it. You see the head of a young man and his arms, and that's it. And it's all placed on a blanket in a nice kind of way. They're beheading people, they're chopping heads, chopping arms, they're humiliating women. There's another video where you see, I think it's sisters sitting and they're dragging their brother after they took his pants down and they went and cut his private parts from what it looks like, and then started just playing with the body. Now, these are Syrian soldiers, Syrian official soldiers backed up by Turkey, by the way, which is very concerning of what's happening. So we're gonna try to take you in about what's happening in Syria. But before that, I have a spoiler alert, guys. Something crazy. I don't know if you heard about this, Khalifa, but this is crazy. About a week ago, I went and I made a show about a possible attempted assassination about Ahmed El Shara. There was an attack that happened in Damascus, very close to the palace, and rumors were spreading that he might have got injured. Maybe his wife even got killed, and some said that he was taken to Turkey for medical treatment. Now, have you noticed that since then until today, no one have ever almost barely seen a real live image of Ahmed al-Shara publicly? Yeah, they
Mhm.
showed videos which are, controversial, either from now, from later, but almost not publicly gone showing, but the world is not talking about it. There is a possible attempted assassination of the leader of Syria, resulting in, maybe, again, that might be conspiracy, guys. I'm putting my conspiracy helmet right now. And no one is mentioning it. They're keeping radio silence. And while is this happening, I mean, you'd expect that if Bibi Netanyahu now, when he attacked Iran, or when we went to any war, Trump, they attacked Venezuela, he was immediately on the microphone. Immediately. When they killed Baghdadi, He didn't even wait for him to be executed. He said, Baghdadi is dead. He died like a dog. He started like
Yeah.
talking about it. That was a great meme, by the
Yeah.
way. Osama bin Laden is dead. He died like a dog. So my point is, leaders are very quick to be on the spotlight when their nation is going to war. And we're seeing Syrian tanks driving everywhere. We're seeing drones being used against civilians, and you barely see him. You barely see him. What's your thought about this, Khalifa?
Well, first thing I need to address what you said about the image that I sent you about this kid. So he's a Druze guy from the Druze neighborhood in
Jaramana, right?
Damascus. In Damascus, yeah, in Jaramana. He's 20 years old and he was found in a garbage bin.
In a dumpster, yeah.
Exactly. And they just chopped him off. Like it's disturbing, but this kind of hate crimes that it's no news, unfortunately, in Syria. And regarding Ahmad Shara, well, I don't think that he's dead. In my opinion, because and I'm gonna relate it to what's happening with the Kurds. I find
But
it
stick
very
to the conspiracies. Stick to the conspiracies here,
yeah, yeah,
okay?
but here's a thought.
Yeah.
The idea is Ahmad Shara. Basically, if we go back a year ago, he basically occupied the whole Syria in 11 days, and now he's been fighting two neighborhoods in Halab for 6 days, and
And we're
now
beating the
he's
crap
backed
out of
with
them.
Turkey, and he's been much more stronger uh, from this year. He's building up his arms, his weapons, his military, and he basically is not capable of occupying those two neighbors. This morning he sent, and it's very interesting that he's using the same methods exactly like Bashar al-Assad. He sent buses to those neighborhoods, and he basically said, I'm gonna give you free passage if you want to go to the Kurds east of the Prat River, to go to Rojava area, which is under the Kurds control, then you
Mm-hmm.
can do it. So those Kurds, those badass people, I must say, they said F you and F your buses, and they actually shut the buses and said, if you want us out of here, you need to get us out of here, which is amazing. You can't not to love the Kurds.
Mm-hmm.
And it is interesting. He has no public shows since a week ago, and
Mm-hmm.
nobody knows what is happening with him. Uh,
Yeah.
but I think that he he's a pawn in this game, international game, and it's not his time to be dead yet. So if I had to gamble, I will put my money that he's somewhere in a bunker in Damascus, and he just simply letting his people to do what those hyenas do, basically,
Mm-hmm.
which is war criminals, war crimes.
So here's the thing. I agree with you. I don't think he's dead, but I do think that he is very, very careful and extremely right now semi in the hideout because he have his people that want to kill him. He have the Kurds, and they're very capable. They want to kill him. You have the Druze that want to kill him. Iranians want to kill him. So, and just like you said, it's convenient not to be publicly seen when your people are going around beheading, massacring. I've seen videos, where they put people, girls down on the ground and they make them bark, and the same images that we saw before. It's just another excuse for Syrians to go and basically start massacring minorities. Now, you mentioned something about the Kurds, and that's what I think they did. They underestimated it big time. For those of you who don't know, the Kurds are extremely brave and capable warriors. They've been the spear of the spear fighting ISIS and Al Qaeda for the last 10 years easily. I mean, and the government of Syria is made out of ISIS and Al Qaeda. So an average Kurd An average Kurd, ladies and gentlemen, have a +2 against ISIS and Al Qaeda. An average Kurdish woman have a +4 because they fear her as a woman, so they have a -2. So if you ever played computer games or D&D, they're really heavily buffed. And the enemy is just like, oh, I don't want to get killed by a woman, because a lot of these Kurdish women are bad Tusiks, and they have been taking so many of these jihadis. And when you remember, when they attacked the Druze, cruel and vicious as they may be, and they came with hundreds of thousands, they don't care about human life. So for every Druze that died, tens, if not hundreds of them died. But in the end, when they managed, like zombies, to basically come and take over a spot because you ran out of ammunition or because they used drones and help and etc., then they start doing what they love the most, which is plundering, violating women and little children, and basically torturing and doing all the crazy stuff. I see you're about to say something.
Yeah, because you were mentioning the Kurd women fighters, female fighters. I published in my Telegram channel two ladies that been the Golani fighters, so-called, terrorists, just somehow took control of, and seeing the image of those hyenas, like those, I don't know.
Oh, Agam is here. Sorry. My bad.
We have,
Continue.
yeah.
My man.
Okay, so and it's really disturbing. Nah, exactly. This is the image,
Watch the
and
other
you.
girl. I mean, just look at her face. First of all, what a brave woman. Look at her. Look at her gloves. So she came,
Mhm.
she's ready to fight. And I think these women, sorry for cutting in, Khalifa, I think these women, they're the real essence of feminism. They're the real bad Tusik women out there that are willing. They're not going to stay home and just wait in the kitchen for these men to come and do what they're going to fight them. They're geared, they're ready. And probably in their head, they also accepted their fate. I do
and
believe that many of them understand that, you know what? I'm going to
and
go
you
standing
know
on my feet. I'm going to go fighting.
and for me as an Israeli, I can't not to compare between those images and October 7 images when Hamas treated our female soldiers. It's exactly the same people, the same patterns, the same the same textbook basically.
Sorry.
So it is heartbreaking to see them, but you can't not admire those brave women, the best of the best.
Yeah, Sarah Connors, man. Sarah Connors and Ripley from Aliens. Sarah Connor and Ripley. Let me show you the video here, guys. This is, as you can see, that's not okay. Live footage shows strikes that are happening, heavily strikes by the Syrian interim government forces hitting densely populated areas. Now, let's read this for a second. Syria's Kurds take a beating from the Syrian Arab Army. The Arab Army of Syria has been ordered to bombard the Kurdish civilian neighborhood of Aleppo because the terms put forward by the SDF for submitting the Department of Defense did not suit Damascus. Turkey has stated, and that's an interesting part, that it's ready to jump into Damascus side and as soon as it needs help. And actually, they already sent their drones and their tanks. New Turkish tanks and armored vehicles have already made appearance in the fighting. The Kurds do not have access to new missiles or tank and will likely be overpowered by Syria's Arab army and all the support that they're getting. The United States has made it clear that it expects the Kurds to submit to the term and put forward by Damascus. Here is a very, very sad part, when it comes to Americans' policy. So we know that the Syrian government, we saw the warning that was sent to Khomeini and to Iran, and undoubtedly, evil regime, don't kill your people. If you do, America is locked and loaded. But let's be honest, guys. The Syrian regime is actually more cruel than the Iranian regime. Now, Iranian regime is extremely cruel, but the Syrian regime is basically Gaza, Palestine on steroids. They're like their cruelty is we haven't seen in Iran tanks been just driving into villages and just slaughtering and beheading it. Like, they're barbarians. It's a whole different thing.
And they don't know how to conduct a fair fight, because those, like, army, so-called army, they come with TV, press personnels, and they basically spread lies. They say that the Kurds are bombarding the neighborhoods, although the Kurds, it's two small neighborhoods. They don't have heavy machinery or things like that. So they do the crime and they blame the Kurds that they are doing the crime. And I want to put something, say something about what you said about Ahmad Shara, that he about his presence, that he's not there. Well, if we look back on what happened with the Alawites last March, what happened with the Druze in April and on July, where there basically was a massacre, and now is happening with the Kurds, you will always see that this guy just simply disappears. And that's what truly dangerous about him, because he goes to the West and says the nice things, but once he have real trouble, things that need actual leadership to say, hey guys, let's try and talk, he simply ignores it. You won't ever hear him addressing any of those issues, and he's basically yielding or stepping aside to the most extreme parts of his government. That's a pattern.
It is a pattern that we've definitely been seeing. And I want to help people understand. For those of you who are wondering back home, okay, we understand that in Syria, Muslims are trying to kill anything that is not Muslim. And Sunna are not trying to kill anything that is not Sunna, even Muslims. But hey, we're having right now Sunna Muslims killing Sunna Muslims. Like the Kurds are majority Muslims and majority Sunna guys. So people are trying something to understand, like, why is that? And this is the most simplified explanation, and feel free to jump in, Khalifa, and correct me or even add something. You see, the reason that Muslims are killing other Muslims right now in Syria is because they believe that they're not Muslim enough. Let that sink in. The Syrian Sunna, the Arab Sunna, believe that the Kurds are not Muslim enough. They believe that they are holding too strong into their Kurdish identity, and also not living strong enough under Sharia law. They're respecting their women too much. They're respecting other religions and cultures too much, which they see as goes against their religion, which they should go and conquer the world, submit everybody to slavery, kill anyone that is not like them, and submit all women to like heavy, extreme, humiliating conditions. And the Kurds are not doing that. So they're upset. That's number one. And they're also a bit afraid because they want to submit all of Syria under radical dictatorship of Sharia extreme Salafi laws. And they believe that if they won't be able to control the Kurds will raise their head and says, hey, we want to have our own country, we want to have our own rules. And then other minorities, God forbid, will come and say, hey, we also want to live in our own terms. The Christians will say, we want to live like Christians. The Druze will say, we want to live like Druze. And they're afraid of that. So if we're ever talked about a serious apartheid that is happening in such high level, this is Syria for you guys. It's not for no reason that me and Khalifa have been saying it from the beginning. This is one of the worst places on the face of this planet in terms of human rights violations, and it's coming from the people. Why do you think that every 1 out of 3 terrorist attacks in Europe right now and stabbing is happening by a Syrian migrant? Like, I'm not making this up. It's a very bad place.
Well, I'm gonna completely disagree with you, yet I'm gonna
Good.
agree with you. So because you are rationalizing something that I'm covering Syria for the longest time now, and I also used to think like what you're thinking, but now I truly start thinking or believing that there's a seasonal bloodthirst. Those people been fighting for so long, and they've been hating anything for the longest time. So between once in a while, those jackals just sniff and try to find the prey, and they go for the weakest. Like they don't go and fight the Kurds in Rojava, where they can have a fair fight. They go to small neighbors neighborhoods, and they go to places where they can loot, they can kidnap, they can sex slave, they can do all those things, and it's simply the normal thing to do in this place, and nobody cares, because what happens in Syria stays in Syria. That's the whole story, in my opinion. You're muted.
I am not muted. Okay. Okay. No one, only Chuck Norris can mute me. So what I'm saying is I definitely agree about this bloodthirsty. This is undoubtedly something that we're seeing there. And when you look at what's happening in Syria, I think to add to your bloodthirsty theory, here's another theory. Here's another theory, guys. This is not a conspiracy. This is a theory. You see, Ahmed al-Shara came to power with the help of about 27 terrorist organizations that came and compiled, which the most moderate of them are ISIS and Al-Qaeda. The other ones are actually more extreme. And under them, there's about subculture of even 40, not even more. Syria have more terrorist organizations than Israel have startups. That's like the mentality over there. Every second day, someone comes with a great idea of takbir, takbir, jihad, and let's call all my children Ahmed, and they go and try to do terrorists and kill people. That's literally a Syrian version of startup, same thing like Palestine. Now, they tried this hype. They felt very brave because they took Syria so fast. Guys, 5 blind, deaf, old people on a donkey and a camel will take Syria if the IDF is behind them. Let's be honest. The IDF literally went with airplanes, destroyed Assad's army, and then like a bunch of Ahmed, Muhammad, Mahmoud, Al Abdul Jabbar went Allahu Akbar on the camel, and took Syria. So they felt so, look at us, takbir. And then they went and tried to pull the big guns on the Druze, and they got their ass whipped. So now they're feeling very humiliated, and they took their frustrations on more fragile communities there, like the Alawites and the Christians, who almost barely have no way to defend themselves. And with the Druze, Israel stepped in. That really changed the tide. So now I feel they are still thirsty for blood, and they're thirsty for some victory and for their honor. So they said, okay, we can't touch the Druze because Bibi Netanyahu in Israel will literally abolish us, and this time will kill Ahmed al-Shara and will destroy Damascus. So they're like, what should we do? They don't allow us to genocide. Okay, let's go on the Kurds, but we can't attack all the Kurds. Let's attack the Kurds in these small neighborhoods. And then they went there, and they're getting their ass kicked again by civilians, and girls are beating the crap out of Ahmed, Mahmoud, Abdul Jabbar. So imagine the frustration that you have right now as a proud Arab, kind of feel like you're a warrior, but you are in the bottom of the food chain of real warriors. You're the bottom of the food chain of real men. You're like the most pathetic excuse of an army in the Middle East, and the most pathetic excuse of so they're getting humiliated again, and they're getting super frustrated, and they're coming more and more. And that's why whenever they have a chance, they take all their, they start, beheading and killing. Here, watch what they did for this poster. Like, they're so offended by females. It's unbelievable. Watch this. I'm not going to show you the sound because there's a lot of dumb music. Real man. What can we say, huh? So that's my theory about part of what's happening. Okay, I see you sent me a video. I'm going to try to put it up. So
yeah, please do. That's the funniest. And this guy, I sent you a video for this badass old guy. You should put it. It's hilarious, basically.
Okay, I'm just checking it out. That is not something extremely racist or stupid.
No, nothing. It's just an old guy speaking in the street while you hear explosions, and I'm gonna explain what we're gonna see. It's funny.
Oh, okay.
It's funny as hell.
I have friends that you can never show the videos that they send you, and you can never open it in public.
By the way, I really love this map because you can see El Tanaf American base, and basically what should be done is that this American. Okay, let's discuss this video.
Continue about the map.
I think that the Americans should go west and get united with Israel and get those all extremists away, and we will have all south of Syria clean from jihadists, clean from all those so-called Bedouins, but basically they are ISIS, and unite them with Israel. So the Druze people will have sovereignty, and they'll have their own state under the protection of United States and Israel.
Yeah. So to actually reinforce what Khalifa said, the solution for a more stable region would be to push away the Muslims from the Christians and the Jews and all the other minorities that they're trying to kill. And by that is to create some kind of a corridor. As you can see, let's say Damascus is the upper border of that corridor. And you can see that blue line there, the corridor that goes from Israel all the way to the Kurds, and take the whole southern part of Syria and makes it an area for peace, harmony, minorities, and kumbaya, and away from the Allahu Akbar Takbir people. That's kind of the idea. And I think that's literally whoever will manage to do that will deserve a Nobel Prize, because he will save the lives of many. And then you let, the Jalalabad, Ahmed Mahmoud Abdul Jabbar, to go and shout takbir in their own piece of land in the middle there and kill one another as they're still doing it. If they want to do that, I hope they stop, but at least they can keep doing what they're doing away from other civilized people. Now,
and we should add to that Turkey's role here, and Turkey is now, when we are seeing that Iran role is disappearing and crumbling, Turkey is now becoming a real disturbance force in the Middle East that should be addressed, because they have much better connection and relationship with the United States, and they're actually putting pressure on on Israel to not intervene in what's happening in Syria. And now this is gonna be the next war on Syria. You have the northern part under the Turkish control by the Sultan Erdogan, and the southern part, which is pro-Western Israeli backed forces. So let's put the video first, because this is the funniest video.
Sorry, let's do it again.
حجي ما كان فيهم بياع مشروبات وين صار؟
حجي الله وقت مشروب توفى
امبارح كان طيب
توفى
وين صار محله؟
هو على البيت الله بتاع
Oh my god.
People running in the background.
Yeah, you have explosions, and he's coming and saying, "Hey, where is the alcohol shop that used to be here?" And he said the guy died. I said, "Did he move the other place? He wants to have a drink."
This guy is a real OG. Look at him, like walking
Yeah, keep
like
doing
that.
yourself. Oh my god. That's so
Did
funny.
he have his hand in his pocket? Listen, he's such a bad tusik. He's literally
Yeah.
walking with one hand in the pocket, probably playing
Yeah.
masbaha.
Oh my god.
You gotta watch this again.
حجي ما كان فيهم بياع مشروبات وين صار؟
حجي الله وقت مشروب توفى
Yeah, the guy saying, "Is it the right time? You can't see there's like a small thing happening in the background." Yeah, but where can I buy the drinks? Oh my
He's
god.
literally going mashrubat is drinks, and he's
Yeah.
asking where's the guy. Twafaz, he died. So,
Yeah.
my God, look.
This
gotta watch
this
this
Kurdish guy gives a shit about the Julani forces.
حجي الله وقت مشروب توفى
Twafa, he died.
Yeah.
Imagine you're the other guy and you go back to your friends. It's like you don't believe what just happened. Like literally,
Yeah.
the whole city was being bombed. People were going around fighting in the streets, and this guy comes and like, where is the owner of the falafel shop here?
No, the thing is, because it's drinks and it's alcohol, which is forbidden, and he doesn't give a shit. It's
Yeah,
so funny.
that's
Such a
true.
badass.
That is literally that's probably his way of just showing them I don't give a care
Yeah.
about you guys.
Yeah.
And if you take us today and kill us today, I'm gonna still have my last drink.
Mhm.
Wow, that is crazy. Let's see. Leah is writing here. Khalifa is correct in that there is a reason she hates when I call her Leah. season for all things, and he does seem to be a season for blood flow. But I really believe, from a big picture view, Manso is right in what he's saying. Chang! Thank you, thank
Yeah,
you.
well,
Thank you. Much
but I
appreciated.
disclaimed. I said that I disagree with you completely, but still, I agree with you.
Mhm, mhm,
Like the reality is so complex that it
mhm,
holds both theories in the same time.
mhm, mhm. Thank you, Leah. Thank you, Leah. Mansour was right, Khalifa was wrong. It's okay to approve. I'm kidding. So here's the thing. You mentioned Turkey, and I think that is something that Europeans need to finally get in their heads, and Americans. Turkey is directly involved. Who did that?
Yeah.
Ban him! Ban him from my channel! Ban him right now! Ban him! Go and never come back. No kidding. So Turkey is directly involved in the massacres in Syria. Directly, Turkey celebrated the Hamas massacres in Israel, October 7. And I think it's important for Europeans to understand this. If Turkey, Muslims, are so involved and celebrating the massacre of women and children, other Muslims, how would they feel when they start massacring Christians and Europeans? Let that sink, guys. Let that sink. I know it makes people uncomfortable, but it is a reality that we need to address. And I have great Turkish friends that probably will sit and not agree because they will feel like I'm concluding them with them. No, I know great Turkish people that won't, but there's quite a lot that would. And if that's how they treat other Muslims, how do you think they're gonna enjoy watching treating Christians and Jews and other minorities? Some of them might not be fully involved. Okay, they're not gonna be the ones going and shouting takbir and beheading, but they will not do anything to stop it. And that is a big problem that the West need to understand. You're playing just like Wilf said when we had a podcast with her, not Wilf.
Mm.
A big part of the Muslim world have never had the denazification process done to them. They still
And
hold very racist, very Nazi-like ideology.
And the thing is, they wouldn't care. This small phrase, it's so let that sink in, because we've been covering what's happening in Germany, in all these places in Europe. You know, we talked with a guy that has a Telegram channel that covers what's happening in Germany in terms of illegal immigration or things like that, and he said to us that there's basically two gang rapes a day in Germany, and the German people doesn't seem to care.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
it's crazy. Germany have become so sensitive to Nazism that they will hunt you down if they think if you're a white German, European that might hold some kind of a Nazi-like ideology. But then they will come and hug you if you're a Middle Eastern, a brown man who is holding a full-on Nazi ideology, like literally love Hitler and support him and think that the only thing that was wrong with Hitler is that he didn't finish the job, and say that you want to go and kill Jews, Alawite Christians, Jews, like that guy, they will go and hug him. So it just kind of shows me that either they never really abandoned the wickedness of Nazism. Not all Germans. I'm talking about these, very liberal, communist like kind of Germans that always side with Palestine and others. I think they're very good. I spoke to a German historian who studied the Holocaust, and she's partly in the government also. And she told me when she observes these young Germans who go inside with the pro-Palestinians and the jihadists, she gets a feel of how did Nazi Germany go to power. They all believe that they're good. They all believe that they're right, and they all believe that it's justified what they're doing. It's insane. I'm gonna sneeze now, so I'm gonna put the mic on now.
Yeah. Well, it reminds me of what we were talking about in our Hebrew podcast, that I told you that evil never meets itself. Nobody looks in the mirror and says, "Hey, I'm evil and I'm doing evil deeds." They all do it with and justify it as doing good to the world.
Yeah. Well, Agam here asked a very good question. Why do you think Trump is pretty positive towards Turkey? That is the $1 million question. I spoke to a very good friend of mine who is also very knowledgeable about world politics and especially about what's happening in Syria. He's originally from Syria and he managed to escape. And he came and he told me so many things about Trump he completely understands and he also respects. Venezuela, he says, I understand that. I respect that. I saw the reasoning behind it. Some people might not like it. Even Greenland, I can understand and respect. There is some kind of a America first national security aspect to it. You know, Denmark have only built bobsleds there, and America will definitely use that place to make the world a safer, better place. So that reasoning, I'm not saying that they should go and take it, but I'm saying undoubtedly America is more concerned about tomorrow, while Europe is more concerned about feeling good, and they're literally destroying tomorrow. But when it comes to Trump and its bromance with Syria and with Turkey, it is still very confusing. Why is he on their side? Why does he show them so much respect? Meanwhile, to other Muslim countries, he's very clearly against it. Like, what's your thoughts? Why do you think so?
Well, I agree. Like I share the confusion with you, but I think just to put it this way, Turkey has the second largest army after the US in NATO. And maybe he's thinking that he can sweet talk to them just because, keep your enemies close, your friends close, but your enemies even closer. So I think it might be something of that sort, but I really don't understand. And I think if there's any uh, Turkey expert that we might discuss, because that's a very interesting thing
Mhm.
to talk about. But I will say that what is dangerous about Turkey, that first of all, few things about Turkey, that between once in a while, like once in a decade, they become too Islamized, and usually you will have the army doing a coup d'etat and taking over just to make sure that the country will stay secular and not get too much Islamized. But that didn't work with Erdogan, who basically failed this attempt in 2016, if I'm not mistaken. And what is truly dangerous about Turkey is that it tried for the longest time to be part of the EU, but Europe didn't accept them. So they have this sort of resentment towards Europe. And this might be the key for keeping Turkey with a good relationship with the United States. Me and you are speaking from our Israeli perspective. That doesn't make any sense. That Trump, in some way, favors Erdogan over Bibi, which is crazy. But we are seeing it happen.
Yeah, no, I think probably the most reasonable explanation that I have for this, to answer Mr. Gam's question, is the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Trump right now is playing a long-term game that is very important, and it might sometimes collide with Israel's needs, and that is the game of global domination. He's playing Risk on a global scale, and his contenders are China, Russia, Team Communist, and Team Jihad. Team Jihad is still behind. They have no nukes, and let's be honest, their own real weapon is to come into your culture and convert your students to make them idiots so they stop bringing children, and also then make them gay so they stop, like, even fighting and being children, marrying and bringing children, and then converting everybody to Islam. That's literally what they're doing. They actually say we support Western civilizations to become gay because then they're not competitions for us, and we will go and sleep with our women and bring children. So their ideology is to come. So that's a little bit long term. They'll have to deal with that in one day. They don't have nukes. They don't know how to fight. They don't know how to govern. So they're not a threat as China and Russia. China and Russia right now are trying to create their coalition. And Trump is the first American president and world leader that is actually going to dismantle it. He went to Venezuela. Not anymore, guys. He's coming to Greenland. He just went and seized the tanker ship from the Russians, a ghost ship that was going around the fleet. He's going and sending a very clear message. We are the strongest nation on the earth, and we will choose the rules here. And I think people need to understand that hate him as much as you want, Trump might be saving the world because, and I'll explain, whenever you look at history, whenever there was a transition between empires, it all involved with a lot of bloodshed, famine, destruction that sometimes last for hundreds of years. Could last for generation or two of total chaos and the world goes plundered. And that was before there was nukes. So whenever there was a big shift of power between empires, it always brought a huge catastrophe all over the region. And the way that we are today is going to bring catastrophe all around the world. So anyone who doesn't understand how important it is for America to stay the strongest nation on this planet doesn't know what he's bringing his way. Because empires don't fall just like that. It just doesn't happen. Oh, boom. Okay, let's change. We finished the game of Risk. Let's shuffle the game, start again, all over. It comes with a heavy price. And trust me when I say you'd rather live under the West democracy led by a strong country like America and followed by a country that have no clue what they want, like Europe country. But, they keep saying they hate America, but they literally would not survive without America.
By the way, interesting thing is, sorry to interrupt, that you can see now that Hamas is basically shifting towards Turkey because now they see Iran as a sinking ship. And I just saw a video of Khaled Mashal, the leader of Hamas, addressing Turkish people because they had this huge rally, pro-Palestine rally, and there's a huge Gazan Palestinian diaspora in Turkey. And if me and you were discussing the pattern of the Palestinians, that every place they go, they somehow hijack the political system and they shift it towards, extremism. So we can see the pattern here. We can see the directory of where it's going.
Yeah, they're looking for another stepdad right now to come and sponsor the reign of terror. Agam is asking a lot of good questions, so I might forgive him for siding with you against me about who's right and wrong. He's saying, is there a strong leader from the region that could rally the minorities to create a sovereign country in the south of Syria? Well, I tell you what, the only strong leader right now in the region is Bibi Netanyahu. And I'm not saying this, I'm not a beast. I'm not saying because I'm part of his group or not his group. I'm saying it just because it's facts on the ground. He's the only strong leader right now that is in power. There might be others that is in power in the Middle East that can actually rally and change the Middle East. Now, if you take inside of Syria, then you have Hikmat al-Hijri, which is the Druze sheikh that defied the whole, basically, Arab League around him and said, we will not bend the knee to Sharia, and that brought the slaughter on the Druze and other minorities. But the thing is with him, and again, I might get some heat a lot from a lot of Druze and etc. He is a religious leader. He's a religious leader that turned military leader just for survival, and he's doing a great job. I don't think the Druze have any internal desire to lead other groups, other nations. They just want to be, left alone and live in peace and respect others and be respected. So I think this coalition have to come under the blessing of America. Israel definitely desires that. There's nothing better for Israel right now than to create a strong coalition in the Middle East that reshape the Middle East again. Remind you, Lebanon was a great country when it was Christian. It became very bad when it became Muslim. Syria was a great country when it was Christian. It became very bad when it became Muslim. Same thing like the Druze. The Druze were, when they were ruling there, it was great. Every place that is failing miserably in the Middle East, most of them, is because they became Muslim. And I'm not trying here to bash the Muslims, they can try to challenge me and bring a better, explanation on the table. There's a few Muslim groups here and there that are doing pretty well, but they are not the majority and they don't represent the most. The most are vastly failing, terribly, miserably failing. They can even show images from satellites. You can see whatever Muslim empire expanded, the area is less green. Like the land even suffer because they're not taking care of agriculture, they're not taking care of their self, and they're just plundering and going like locust almost and destroying everything around. So you need to create a strong coalition that is right now non-Muslim to stand strong and defend themselves from the Muslim intention of colonizing the world, and they're not even hiding it. Muslims are coming and saying clearly they want to come and take over the world. And we all know what will happen if that will happen. It's basically Western civilization is going to collapse and go back into the Stone Age, because Islam have the tendency to always go to radicalism and to always go to extreme religious, fanatic, old style views. Like they're following people that are 1,600 years ago that had no ChatGPT. They had no Google back then, like literally, and they're following them until the letter, until today. And I think that is very dangerous to let people have nuclear weapons and like Tomahawk missiles and ballistic missiles, with even let them drive a tram. I think that's dangerous for someone who would think that his role model is someone that lived 1,600 years ago, married a 6 years old, and basically saw demons in a cave that came and told him all kind of stuff to do, and believe that you should go and basically convert everyone and make them like yourself and take their daughters and marry them. I think that is very problematic. I will say that about every religious leader from 1,500 years ago who married 6 years old. Seriously.
But by the way, two things. First of all, there's a very interesting note here. I don't know if you heard about it, but UAE are banning
Sorry.
the student to study in the UK because the UK universities are full of radical Islam. That's a true story.
I heard that.
That's a true story. Amazing. And
say that again, man. Say that again.
UAE are banning their students from studying in the United Kingdom because they are afraid that their students are going to be radicalized in the UK because the UK universities are full of Muslim Brotherhood.
Insane in the membrane, man. This is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, literally, but they're right about it. I heard that today. Someone sent me that and I completely forgot about it.
Yeah.
UAE and other Muslim countries are showing the example of how possibly can Islam adapt to the future and become, capable of living with modernization. And that is by internally fighting the radicalization that is happening inside them. And they've spotted it that this radicalization is happening mostly in Christian countries because we're so tolerant. Western countries, we're so tolerant that we will welcome these Nazi-like borderline, crazy jihadists, and will let them freely do whatever they want in the name of freedom of speech and democracy.
Yeah.
That is just insane.
And you mentioned Sheikh Hikmat al-Hijri, the spiritual leader. Did you know that he used to be a lawyer in Venezuela and he speaks fluent Spanish?
Really? We should bring him to the podcast, man.
Yeah.
I want to talk to him about Venezuela. Wow.
Yeah. There's a huge diaspora of Druze community in Venezuela. Some estimation goes around 300,000 Druze in Venezuela now.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. I heard like lower numbers, but that's crazy. For those of you who don't know, the reason there's a lot of Syrians that were able to go to Venezuela because it was part of the axis of evil, basically, and it was one of the only places that Syrian passport will allow you to travel.
No. That's way back. Like the immigration to South America. It's not only Venezuela. You have in Brazil, in Nicaragua, and all those Ecuador. All those places are full of both Lebanese and Syrian that fled in the 19th century.
Mm-hmm. And they continued going even later on. But yeah, there's a lot of anti-Semites there. It's quite crazy, but it's not a surprise when you came from Palestine or Lebanon or Syria. There's a lot of anti-Semites there as well. But back to wrap it all up, guys. What is happening in Syria is again an attempt to genocide minorities, is a real attempt to ethnically cleanse people. It's a government that full on supports sectarian war just based on your religion. And in this case, it's not even anymore about your religion, it's just because you're not good enough Muslim. But that is a very good example to let people in New York and Michigan and other places to realize what will happen once they would let Islam to become a majority in their cities. What do you think is going to happen? You did not take the smartest, brightest engineers to come and live among you. You brought real, not all. I know there's great people, but you brought a lot of problematic people. And here's one more thing that is super important. If you want to be able to differentiate from all your friends right now, you have a lot of activist friends, Muslim friends. The non-Muslims, they're easy, useful idiots. It's very easy you need to, with non-Muslim activists, you need to know if he's evil or if he's a useful idiot. Useful idiots are not necessarily evil. They're just easily manipulated. But if you have Muslim activist friends that were extremely vocal about Gaza and Palestine, but are not talking a word about Iran, about what's happening there, about what's happening in Syria, you can tick a box very easily that this person is a Muslim Brotherhood and this person is an agent of a very hostile ideology to what you have in your country. Because you can't play two games. You can't play and one day be pro-life and then against, one day be pro-children and then against, one day be a feminist and then against. You can't. If you're a feminist, if you care about women, if you care about little girls, if you care about little kids, then you care about them no matter what. And the Iranian case and the Syrian case cannot show better how the minorities are suffering and how they deserve a better life. And in Iran right now, it's actually going around so strongly and showing a group of people trying with everything they have to get liberated, and they're not succeeding. Are you trying to add the video here?
Yeah, I just did it. That's caught on Al Jazeera. The Jolani fighters with ISIS patches
طول شارع
live
الكاستيلو وهو
in
عبارة عن
Aleppo.
شارع رئيسي ومحوري
Worth mentioning, I
وربما
must say.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an ISIS army, man. It's an ISIS army. If anyone have any doubt, Syria has been taken by ISIS. Jawlani is somehow in the hiding, showing here and there his face, or maybe a double. I want to go conspiracy full on. Maybe it's like a not so smart double. Like, have you seen the movie The Dictator?
Well, I've seen Saddam Hussein. He used to have like bunch of them, like a dozen of.
Imagine what a job is that. Like literally, your job is to get shot. Your entire, you grew up all your life, your dynasty, your brother, your great grandparents have survived the mammoths. They survived the Black Plague. They survived every hardship the planet Earth have brought on them. Plagues, Ice Age. They came here. They went through the ocean and conquered new nations. And then they come and then their great grandson. Your job is to be a double for a dictator just so you can get shot.
I remember a hilarious video of Saddam Hussein that he went for a swim in the river. And after he finished the swim, he got out and you had a TV crew that interviewed him, and he said, "Well, I put the task to the double, but he couldn't swim it, so he he sunk in the river, and I had to do it." The Saddam Hussein guys. So
imagine you are that double. Exactly. You don't know how to swim and you get your memo. You suddenly get they call you from the barracks. Hey, come, you need to go for an event today. You need to cycle. You need to run the marathon. Ironman. What?
Yeah.
I don't know how to ride a bicycle. I don't know how to swim. Habibi, yalla. We have no time.
Yeah, exactly.
With the bike falling in the river.
Do you prefer the acid barrel? Or it's up to you. Free country, you know.
That's a barrel over this.
Uh,
My God.
yeah.
Yeah, crazy. HR messed up.
Messed up neighborhood, I must say. We like the Middle East is such a messed up place, but it's funny one.
Mhm. Any insight on what's happening in Iran now that they shut the internet? So actually, that's a good story we can finish with. That's a crazy story. Crazy story we can finish with. Did you know that in Iran, the government decided they want to oppress this uprising of people wanting to fight for democracy and for freedom? So what they did is they sent their army and their goons, and they even brought fighters from outside, Arab Muslim fighters from outside, to go and kill their own people. And they took an extra step. They cut down the internet and electricity in many places, but you know what they did also? They started live airing on the Iranian TV, Tucker Carlson translated to Farsi.
Yeah.
This is V for Vendetta
Mhm.
propaganda style. Like literally, they're airing Tucker Carlson as their last resort of survival, their best champion of PR agency for dictators. Like imagine, why is the FBI not even investigating this guy? Why is he not being arrested? Like you have literally become officially the propaganda face for the Iranian regime to oppress its own people. One of the worst, most wicked regimes on the face of this earth. They used Tucker Carlson. Like, what? This is insane. Here, I'll try to find the video for you. I'll try to find.
Well, I would say that I've been covering what's happening in Iran, and I must say that, in my opinion, the Iranian regime is a done deal. They are going down. There's no chance that they are going to survive anything of what's happening. It's a matter
While
of
Tucker
time.
Carlson was
but not-
aired live. I got muted again. You were saying?
No, just put the video. Let's hear Tucker Carlson. I was just saying that, in my opinion, it's a matter of time. Iranian regime is going down. There's no chance that they are going to survive these.
Amen to that, brother. Amen. That would be well. I said it in my 2026 that this is my New Year's resolution and prayer that 2026 will be the year of the fall of dictators, followed shortly by the fall of Maduro, and now almost the fall of Khomeini. And I really, really hope, maybe I should become a prophet. But here, watch this, guys. Tucker Carlson, the PR face of Iran, V for Vendetta style. Guys, this is wild. Tucker Carlson was aired live by the Islamic Republic of Iran. After they cut out the internet or all their population, they aired his video as their main tool of propaganda.
Islamic Republics, they're airing Islamic Republics.
They cut it live.
Oh my God.
We told you it was propaganda. We told you guys he was an agent of the Iranians, of Qatar.
They're translating it into Islamic Persian.
It's the most evil regime on the face of this earth. The
Guys,
most.
so when I tell you that Tucker Carlson is Islamic regime propaganda, look at this. The Islamic Republic is now they're literally taking his garbage interviews and they're translating it because this is propaganda.
Armain and Goldie caught it live on their show. This is the most oppressive regime on the face of this earth, the biggest supporter of radical jihad and terrorism, and they chose to air Tucker Carlson interview translated to Farsi, to Iranian, while they were oppressing their own people. Basically, they see that they're about to collapse and they said, let's pull the big guns. Let's bring our best PR agent. I've told you many times, Tucker have become a PR agent for dictators and mass murderers. Wow. He should be investigated. The FBI should go and investigate this Iranian mole. I'm just waiting for my friends to call me now and ask me, why the heck did I just watch a video of Mansour doing a reaction video to Mansour? So, guys, Tucker Carlson was live aired in Iran while they were shutting the internet on all their civilians. So basically, they put it in every TV in every house to show them this video. Crazy.
It is crazy, and you could tell like Tucker used to be okay, but something happened in the couple last years, and even like his crazy laughter, he's like completely
Yeah.
not okay. This dude is something really bad happened to him.
Yeah. Remember when he went and he, like, I don't know what, went with a team of expedition of exorcists, and they found this little midget nun that have a mustache somewhere in the mountains of Palestine, and they brought her. So they went so far to look for an anti-Semite that they went and even digged and found this like nun that can probably climb on the wall, flip her head, I don't know what, like a spider, and brought her just to share an anti-Semitic testimony. He became so obsessed with Israel, with anti-Semitism. But I honestly think it's not only like religious obsession. I think it's just really like he's not a good person. I think morality is very far and foreign for him. And I think it's just literally, Arab money, a lot of money and fame. A lot of these, half-baked
this voice?
intellectual.
Are you playing something with your hand?
I was doing it on the computer.
Okay,
can hear
so
that?
yeah, once you do, I've been hearing that.
This?
Yeah, you hear the scratches.
Oh, this mic is good.
Okay.
This mic is good. This
Yeah.
mic is really good.
Good
So-
evening, Hebrews and Hebrews.
Yeah, so I think Tucker, when it comes to that, and many other no morally
Still
bankrupt
doing it, or
influencer,
it's not?
they yeah, I'm still doing it. They hack they hacked a trick. If you want to get famous, go and stir the pot and talk about something that is socially controversial and easily is, the hatred toward the Jews. And the Jews are so allergic to anti-Semitism. Obviously, they kind of almost had their entire race, erased in the Holocaust. So they immediately often even overreact. And the Jews often, and the Jew supporters will often overreact by going and say, he's an anti-Semite, he's an anti-Semite. And then that will put you on every major platform out there. So you can be a nobody and just go and says, I like Stalin, I like Hitler, I wish, the Jews control all the world. And you will be like having every Israeli influencer doing a reaction video about you. So mistakenly, like without any purpose, they made Agam, you're so lucky you're living far away from me right now. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. If I will catch you one day.
Yeah, I'm liking this guy. You should come to Dalit El Carmel. Free pita, Drew's pita on me. And a knafe.
I'll wait for him. I'll wait for him there with a baseball bat. So undoubtedly, it became the easiest trick for anti-Semites and morally bankrupt people just to become famous. Seriously. Like I've found myself even one day deciding to make less videos about these people because I'm just feeding their narcissist, crazy behavior.
I have a theory about Agam's excellent question again. And in my opinion,
You have a theory
that-
about Agam?
no, about if the Shah is going to be the king. And I think in a very bizarre scenario, what's gonna happen is like he's like the Shah, Reza Shah Pahlavi, is going to do to Khamenei what Khomeini did to his father, meaning that he's gonna come in an airplane, probably United or something like that. He will land in Tehran and will get his country on a silver platter. This is how I see it happening, although it's like a really far-fetched thing, but we live in the Middle East, and I think it's like
How crazy.
Tzedek Elohi,
Yeah,
something like that.
Divine justice.
Yeah,
How
divine
crazy
justice,
would that be? And if he does it, he should really do it with choreographed team. Like he really need to look at these pictures. It's like when you want to do these pictures of yourself sitting with your father, and you have a picture when you were like with 3 kids, and one was 2, one was 3, one was 5, sitting on his laps, and then you do the same picture when he's like 70. You need to really wear the same clothes, sit in the same place. He should really look at that airplane, because I remember that picture, that airplane stairway, and go down. If I had Ranfield, can you pull that picture? Fortunately, Ranfield is on a strike today.
It was Air France, by the way, on Khomeini's case.
Yeah, exactly. So if he managed to get that image exactly, you want to find this picture while I talk, Khalifa, find that picture. Come on.
Yes, sure.
Be a man, do the right thing.
Yeah.
So if he managed to do that exact same picture as he goes and take back Iran, that will be iconic. That will literally be everywhere around the world. New York Times, everything. Everyone will be showing that crazy picture of El Shah Pahlavi coming down with the journalist around. He should really one-to-one make that picture. That would be
I found it.
Yes, good timing.
Yeah,
That would be insane. Please watch this picture, guys.
Just a second. I'm
And we're
uploading
gonna give
it.
credit to Agam Moore for asking these questions. So we came with that idea. Here we go. Exactly. That is the picture. Wow, Khalifa, that was a great idea. That is the picture that he needs to do when he goes with the same uniform. I mean, like the officers, the pilots, and etc. Wow. Yeah. 1-to-1. This should be the coming back of the grandchild of his grandfather who was kicked out of the country. Wow, that would be insane.
Yeah, that's the picture.
Now, regarding the question of Agam, I don't want to forget, and I want to answer it actually. Here is my theory. I genuinely think that the Shah right now is a good man. That's my feeling. I feel that he actually cares about his people. And I want to trust him when he says that he want to come as an intermediate government to help them transform into democracy. With that said, I've been around the block long enough to see how people, once they get power, they change. So I really hope that he will put the right perimeters around him to make sure that he doesn't fall, because every man can fall for the pride of power and pride, basically. And I've seen that. I've seen that when I was in the army. I've had officers who were soldiers with me who are great, like really among the best people that I've met. And then we both went to officer academy and we went our own path. And then a few years later, I meet a soldier that is one of his soldiers. And I'm like, you're the soldier of this guy. And he looked at me, he's like, he is the worst human being I've ever seen in my life. Small man in big shoes. He is, a bully. He's insecure. And he was like talking so many bad things. And I heard it from again and again and again, a lot of people. And then I realized power can really corrupt. Power can change. And if you're smart and you take power, or you're going to come and take power in any way, could be financial success. You're about to sell your company and start a startup somewhere. You're about to do something that will change your life for better, and you're going to get a lot of power. Could be financial power. You're going to become famous. I don't know what. If you're smart, surround yourself with good people that will always have an open door to your life and can always come and kick you in the face if you do something stupid. You need these people, because if you don't, you're risking it.
I think that also the Iranian people learned their lesson, and they need the king because traditionally it's a monarchy. They respect the king and etc. etc. Yet it should be a republic. They should have a parliament, and it should be a secular state, and the king shouldn't have absolute power, because absolute power corrupts absolutely. And we don't want Reza Shah do the same mistakes that his father Mohammad Reza did. So I think that the Iranians is gonna come to this stage a bit more smarter, because they literally paid everything in this lesson. It was a costly one, and it's still didn't over. It's not over yet, but we hope so, and we cross fingers that they gonna take this Nazi regime away, and we'll get a decent one and get back to the world as a civilized country. You're muted. It's either you're doing a lot of
Say that to
noises.
me 17 more times, and I'm telling you. You came and said how to protect yourself from holding power by giving some up to others that will kick your tusik when you are an idiot. Most dudes get married for that.
Oh,
True.
good one.
True.
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's a good one. No, but I actually did it in my life. I did it in my life, and some of my friends did it backwards. And we made ourselves a promise that no matter what, no matter where, we will always be honest with each other, brutally honest. And if needed, we even gave each other permission to come and like kick someone in the balls or like punch in the face. Like seriously. Without calling the police on each other. And I've had a few false calls where I did get punched, and I was like, "Come on, dude, no, I'm not." So I was like, "Why'd you punch me?" Oh, I thought, no, I'm not. I was not falling through the sin of pride or this. I was just joking. But bottom line is, I'm glad to have friends like that in my life, and I think that is important. But I want to also say, to make sure that no Iranian here, free people of Iran, get me wrong. I am 100% with you. I 100% support the Shah right now, who is coming and claiming to take back your country from Khomeini and radical Islam, basically free Iran from Islam. I'm 100% with you. And once he's in power, it's like he said, it's up to the Gen Z, the young ones, and the Gen under Gen Z, I don't know which Gen is that anymore, to come and decide what kind of fate they want for the country.
That's also a very smart note, that the Sunni Akhwazi will want to separate state or autonomy. And I think that what we've
That's a good
seen
idea.
in Somalia, where you have this large state getting like broken to fractions, this is going to happen in all different states from the Sykes-Picot Treaty. Syria is gonna be fragmented for several small states: Alawite state, Druze state, the Ahwazi in Iran, probably even maybe Lebanon, as we discussed a while ago. And I think that's something that we're gonna see happening. Yemen as well, and all those places. It's definitely going towards this place, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. You know what? Someone wrote here, Cordenu Petronel. If Iranians don't make babies, the other 20% Muslim population will take over again. Let me let you in on a little secret. I think, that's what I think, that if they manage to free Iran from Islam, they're going to be so excited that they're going to make so many babies. Like the baby boomer, you're going to have so many people just falling in love with each other in the streets and just deciding, let's just go and make babies. They're probably going to be a baby boom after that, hopefully. But I think every time that Muslims offer you, hey, can you let us have our own country outside of your country? Take that deal. Take that deal, guys. That way they can go and live their own way with their own, especially when, like, if it's like normal, moderate, Western loving Muslims, they won't do that. They will say, no, we want to stay with you. We want to stay with Christian world. We want to be able to have freedom and to dress how we want and, eat how we want and drink what we want. But if they come and say, no, we want to have our own Muslim country, and if you have the option, give them. It's the best thing. Give them, have clear borders like Israel did with Gaza. Here, you stay there, do your own stuff there, not here. It's a thing for survival. Learn from us in Israel. If they ask for it and you can give it to them, give it to them. Don't have them with extreme hostile ideology to your ideology mingle among your people. It's only going to bring problems. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a long episode and we've covered a lot of things. I want to thank everyone that came here. I want to remind everybody, go and follow Khalifa. His YouTube channel is starting to grow, like very good. Starting to grow. He already passed the 11,000, I think. I remember the days where he was stuck in the beginning. There was monetization problem with YouTube and I don't know what. And he went through a whole hurdle. His YouTube is back on the horse right now. So go and follow him on his YouTube channel and show support to his content. If you want really good, unfiltered content, go and follow his Telegram. He's big on Telegram. Like YouTube is a side hobby. He's big on Telegram. That is where he does most of his stuff. Go and follow him. And also remember what we said. If the Iranian people liberate Iran and the Shah comes to Iran as a ruler, please do this picture 1-to-1. It will be the most remembered picture, one of the most remembered picture in the history of mankind. Like it will be you and Neil Armstrong and I don't know what, Mr. Beast. Like it'll be in Peanut, the burnt peanut.
No.
You don't know him, you'll know him one day. It'll be one of these three. Like it will be so iconic, insane.
And a word for fellow Kurds, Herbiji Rojava, and hopefully also the Kurds will get their independence. We're holding hands for that. Crossing fingers.
Amen to that. Amen to that. So thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget to do the like, share, subscribe. Go and check my Patreon. You got great deals over there, the entire shebang. Stay safe. Don't do anything stupid. In general, just don't be stupid. And don't do anything that I would do. See you next time.
Good night, everybody.